We'd like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which this podcast is recorded, the Whadjuk people of the Noongar Nation, and pay our respects to their elders past and present. We honour their deep connection to land, story and community and the importance of listening, learning and sharing stories.
Life is a jungle.
Okay, rolling.
Hello, welcome to The Jungle. I'm your host, Amberly Lobo. Our guest on today's show has travelled the world talking about periods. Lucy Peach is the creator of multi-award-winning Fringe show My Greatest Period Ever and the author of Period Queen. Not only that, she's also won a WAMI Award, done TED Talks, created online training programs, school workshops and retreats. She is literally my hero. Welcome to The Jungle, the period queen herself, Lucy Peach.
Welcome to the jungle with Amberly Lobo.
Lucy Peach, welcome to The Jungle.
Thanks for having me, Amberly.
I'm honestly so excited, and I was just saying off camera, I'm so excited you wore that. To paint a picture for podcast listeners, Lucy is in this sexy, sheer, spotty red, am I calling it like a cat suit? It's a cat suit.
It's a cat suit.
It's beautiful. Yeah. And I believe, wait, no, you didn't get this one at an op shop. You got it, no,
this one is from Alice Edgley.
It's so beautiful.
And she's in Gertrude Street, or she was in Melbourne, and she makes lots of incredible cat suits for performers and custom things.
I just want one.
You probably should get one. Yeah,
you've inspired me.
They change your life.
Yeah, I know. Like the energy that it's radiating is just beautiful. Well, we're gonna start this podcast, but this is like a first for the podcast. You're gonna pull cards for us.
Well, I just thought, I just thought that's what I do at home. So,
is this how you start your day?
No. Sometimes, yeah. I like to just pull a little card. Do you like tarot cards?
I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, no, mine aren't tarots. I've got I have different ones. I have like the angel cards.
Okay.
But at the moment I've got these cards that I picked up actually just at an op shop, and they're like a focus deck, and then you pull them and they have different quotes about like dreaming or something, and then you flip them over and then it gives you something to do in your journal. Okay. They're the best cards I've ever got.
Cool.
And so I'm doing a different one of those every morning, but I go through different phases.
Well,
so what are these ones?
These are like the traditional Rider-Waite tarot cards.
Okay.
And I like to ask what is right here, and then I can't even remember what that one is. 7 of Swords. I think that one is like hard work.
Oh, okay.
So we've got a bit of work ahead of us.
Okay, we've got some work ahead of us. Do I ask it a question? No.
Yeah. I mean, what question do you want to ask?
Oh, okay. Can I just ask it to reveal me the card that I most need to see in this moment?
Yeah, okay. 8 of Swords. Now, this looks scary.
That looks really bad. To paint a picture, there's a lady on the card and she's like tied up. She looks like a hostage. She looks really unhappy.
The thing is, Swords represents the mind and thoughts, and these can be like, ruminating thoughts or things that you're sort of mulling over, but she's actually free and the bonds are really loose. And so sometimes I think this is also like she can't see, but she's sort of going inward and she's like, okay, I need to think about this and I need to think about that. And this little stream of water symbolises emotions. So she just has to sort of wriggle out and feel her way out away from these mental thoughts. So the second question I like to ask is, what do I need and what's available? So that could be like, cool, just wriggling away from any.
That is actually what I spent all morning talking to ChatGPT about, because I had a crisis situation where I had too much on this week. I was just telling you about it. And I was like, what am I going to do? And ChatGPT was like, Thursday is your podcast day. It's just the podcast. This next thing is for Friday. It was literally that.
Yeah.
That's magical.
Yeah, breaking it down. And so then the final question is like, what are we aiming at? Where are we heading for?
Oh, okay. Where am I? In my life?
Well, I thought it could be for like this moment, but
this moment in the podcast.
We could do one for you.
Okay, can mine be in my life and then you do the podcast?
Okay.
What am I aiming for in my life this year? Oh, strength. Oh, I like that. And it's got a picture of a I kind of really like that.
This is a cool card. And the really cool thing is this strength is represented by this lion and its mouth is open wide and the woman has got her hand like right near its mouth. So she's not strong because she's actually really gentle and present, and that's where her strength comes from. And this infinity symbol.
Oh my gosh, okay.
Above her head. It's
and it just
cool
it
too.
visually I feel like fits with this setting.
Yeah. Yeah. Go you. So that's strength. And then for us,
For this podcast.
here
Here we go. What
are we aiming
to
at?
see?
Lots of choices,
Oh,
lots
okay.
of things going on, and maybe we just need well, you probably have to steer the ship. I am in the jungle. Choose your own adventure.
Okay, well, here we go. That was
Okay.
amazing. I'm going to get myself some of those cards.
Yeah, they're cool.
No, well, seriously, honestly, welcome to the jungle. And I just want to say from the top, thank you so much for creating this piece of art. Period
thank
Queen
you.
is literally my favorite book and it has changed my life. So thank you so much.
That's so sweet.
No, it really
It's-
has. I've
oh.
told you this so much.
Yeah, I'm so happy to hear that. It's been such a pleasure for me to have gotten to make it and then to hear from people about how them discovering their own cycle and exploring it has been powerful for them. It's just, it's really special.
Well, we are going to unpack it at the back end of the show, but
Mm-hmm.
I actually wanted to spend the front end of the show unpacking Lucy Peach because you are absolutely this creative powerhouse and you inspire me so much with everything that you are doing. So we're going to talk Lucy Peach first. So take us back to the very beginning. Where'd you grow up and what were you like as a kid?
Well, I grew up in lots of places. I sort of moved around a lot with my mum and went back and forth a little bit to New Zealand, but mostly Perth suburbs ranging from Armidale to Queen's Rock. And what was I like as a kid? I think I was probably pretty dreamy, and we had a lot of freedom to just kind of – I was in the garden a lot, and when I really think about things that I loved as a kid, like I loved having baths and I loved being in the garden and reading books. Yeah, I had a best friend in primary school, Laura McCulloch, and did you ever have a friend in primary school or high school where you linked arms and you walked around the oval just like linking arms?
Yes, I was obsessed with my friends and I used to call her up before school and be like, Alicia, what are you wearing today, a skirt or a skirt?
These are
So
the
embarrassing.
important ways to start the day.
Yeah.
Well, we had to wear the same thing because we had this uniform that was like bottle green and ribbed tights and brown shoes, and Laura McCulloch and I would walk around the oval together with arms linked, and I used to carry around like a dictionary, and we would play that game where you just press a random page and put your finger to the page and then be like, ooh, what does this mean? How exciting. So that's what I did for fun.
What were your earliest memories, I guess, around like performing and singing? Were you a singer?
No, I wasn't.
Wow,
No,
okay.
I didn't.
You didn't have a musical gift as a kid?
I learnt piano. I don't know that I was especially good at it. I think I liked making up little songs, but I didn't really do it in a formal setting. I did join the school band. I think I was in year 8 or 9, and I was gearing up to sing What's Going On, What's Up, Four Non Blondes. Do you remember that song?
No.
I wake in the morning and I step
yeah.
outside and I take a deep breath. And then we moved, so I didn't do the concert. But
What an anticlimax.
yeah. No, I actually didn't start playing music really until I was pregnant, until I met my son's dad. And then once he was born, that really was what gave me the courage, I think.
So you got into it much later. So what, I guess, when you were in school, what did you think you wanted to be when you grew up? Did you have like a dream job?
No, I really didn't. I think I was always pretty in the moment. I wasn't really thinking that far into the future. used to play at being a newsreader in the bath with my sister. We used to impersonate Yana Vent and Darren Hinch. You probably don't know who they are, but they were like iconic 90s newsreaders. I liked sort of teaching. I always liked talking and sharing stories and things, but I didn't really have a clear idea.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of kids did. Well, after school, I think like a lot of creatives, you didn't follow a straight line path to do what you do. You actually took a very wonky road and ended up getting a job at the post office. Is that right?
Yeah.
Were you a postman?
People would come in and pay their bills and, talk to old people and sell them lotto tickets. And it doesn't sound very glamorous, but I was just grateful to have a job because back then it was like, I don't know, it was quite difficult to find a job after school. And all my friends started at uni straight away after school, and I just didn't have a sense of which direction to go in, and I really felt like I needed to kind of stay still.
So you made the logical move to the post office?
Yeah, so I just joined the post office, and it was sort of a safe place. It was pretty mind-numbing. I think I developed a mild addiction to scratchies and cherry ripes, and one day I stapled my finger to a Western Power bill and I realised it's time to
move on.
I've got to get out of here.
Well, then you sort of had this season of doing all these random jobs like truck driver license. I know you went and tried to study nursing for about 5 seconds. Did these have a common theme to them, or you were just trying different things?
No, I think I just knew, I was 18 or 19 and I had all of that sort of energy and impetus, and I didn't know where to put it, and it just took me a while to kind of get started. So, I tried anything that sort of looked like it could be interesting, and then just, flipped and flopped until I found a bit of a groove.
Yeah, I was going to say, so you eventually found uni and you did the world's most longest degree title. What was it, a bachelor in biomedicine?
Biomed and human biology.
Yeah, why did you pick that one?
Literally because it's just what I hated least at school. And I thought that would be interesting. And it was really practical, and I really liked learning about our bodies. I think that's probably where that body stuff started, of really being fascinated by how we work. And
so did you eventually feel like you'd found, I guess, your home in that kind of degree?
Oh, no.
No, okay.
No, I still knew. I was like, what am I doing here?
Okay, cool.
People, I felt a little bit out of step. And then I did honours because I just thought that would be an interesting thing to do. And then same with doing a dip ed.
You just kept going.
Yeah, I just sort of kept meandering. And I remember actually I did want to do a journalism degree, but I was talked out of it because it was too competitive.
That's what everyone says about journalism. My parents said that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, don't do that. It's not business marketing.
Yeah.
I think everyone says that, but maybe it is. I don't know. Who knows?
Well, listen, I'm sure it probably is very competitive, but from what I gather now, what makes you a good journalist is someone who's really curious, and I definitely am that.
Well, so during uni, you have your beautiful son, Ruben. So then post-uni, you start doing relief teaching work. And then you're about to take a job up north in Geraldton as a maths teacher. But then by chance, your friends are talking and you hear about this role in family planning as a sex educator, and your ears prick up. Like, what was it about that role that excited you?
Well, that I wouldn't have to go to Geraldton.
We love Geraldton. It's very far north though.
It's fantastic. I don't love wind. It kind of really just rattles me a bit. And I had started playing music at that point, and I can remember Googling, folk music in Geraldton, and it just said your search has yielded no results. And I was like, okay, I can do this. It's going to be okay. But then when I met this woman who was leaving the
sex educator
role and said they hadn't found someone, I thought, that could be something that I could do. And I loved that. That felt like, okay, this is a little bit more in line with where I think I belong.
Well, it ended up having such a profound impact on, I guess, the trajectory of your life. So let's talk about the Lucy Peach sex educator era. Like, what did a typical day look like as a sex educator back then?
Well, if I was going out to do sessions, They could be on anything from talking to kids about contraception or sex or STIs or consent or pregnancy. And I had, sort of a bag with the banana condom penis arrangement, speculums, all kinds of things in there that my son used to think it was really fun to play with. And generally, I was speaking to kids at schools or in community or sometimes at prisons or, all kinds of people, parents, people that work with young people who wanted to be more comfortable talking about sexual health with young people.
Yeah, because that obviously is a lot more common now. But back when you were doing it, when was this? This was like late.
It was 2008.
Yeah, was it as common to be a sex educator?
Well, I think family planning's existed for a long time, so there's always been that little pocket. But certainly, even then my role was funded by the Sexual Health and Bloodborne Virus Commission to reduce the incidences of STIs. So it was still very sort of disaster prevention. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It wasn't really like, hey, guys, there's this thing, it's really incredible and here's how you do it well and, you know.
Okay.
It was just like
prevention.
Still a little bit don't get pregnant and die vibes. But it was the sort of the time when that idea of sex positivity was really
emerging,
growing.
Yeah. And I guess it was while you were there that they had this sexual health library, which is the largest in the Southern Hemisphere. And
it was.
It's probably, don't quote us. But you would creepily spend a lot of time down there. And one day you were walking past the new book stand and you find this book, which, again, has a pretty big impact on your life. Tell us about the Miranda Gray book.
Yeah. So it's called The Optimized Woman. And she's written books prior to that are a bit more sort of goddess-based. And it seems like this book was really her effort to meet women where they are in the corporate world and say, okay, being cyclical and having a menstrual cycle is not a disadvantage, but actually you can really use it to get ahead and plan and kick ass and be incredible. I was 27 when I read that, and I was writing music and had a little boy and was working as an educator, and it was, a really powerful thing to read at that time, to understand my body in a different way and have an appreciation of it that I didn't have before.
Yeah, how did that manifest in terms of, because then you kind of develop this like obsession obviously with the menstrual cycle. What did that look like? Were you just telling everyone about it? Or?
Oh yeah, I was definitely preaching with the fervour of a new convert and it was just something that made a lot of sense to me and it helped me be nicer to myself really. It helped me to sort of channel creativity and I think it made me a better parent. It just really allowed me to be where I was at the time instead of feeling like being a good mother, partner, professional person looks like this every single day. So I felt kind of pretty liberated from that, but also still in a system that doesn't really give a shit about that most of the time. And so, I was really excited about the idea of teaching it in schools and it just wasn't
a thing yet.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so interesting. So as you said, during your sex educator era, you're also building out your career as a folk singer and your like obsession with the menstrual cycle started to weave its way into your music. And then in like 2016, you won a WAMI Award, which is huge for the best folk act. And I guess now people talk about their periods, but back then, not so much. Like what was people's reaction when after you won, you sort of started saying like, a lot of my music was like inspired by this?
They were just like, oh, that's nice. Yeah, it wasn't a thing. No one really wanted to explore that. And I think people's experience of talking about cycles and periods is very much or was reduced to just the blood part, and that's scary and we don't like it. So la 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 la. But the bit that I really wanted to explore was, how this makes me different and how I've discovered all of these sort of peaks and troughs in a way that gives me more agency over myself.
Yeah.
But it it sort of felt like I was talking gobbledygook and it probably took me a while to get better at explaining it or talking about it. And I certainly wasn't the only one. There's lots of people who've really, explored this and shared it widely. And I think sometimes there's a timeliness to ideas kind of hitting the collective consciousness that just sort of all the gates are open and it's like, oh, we can talk about this. How cool.
Yeah, you were just a bit ahead of your time.
Yeah, yeah. And that's the thing. It's like being on the edge is uncomfortable sometimes and you just have to kind of, stay your course, whatever that is.
Well, I feel like it was like a silent whisper as to what was to come. Like the period queen was being born and she was on her way. And then if we fast forward a little bit, later on that year, you were filming a music video on Wedge Island, and this is where the menstrual cycle obsession and your music world really collided and the period queen was born. Like, tell us about that shoot.
Well, that was, I think, the second music video that I'd done with my partner, Richard Burney. And it's really interesting because often people, I hear them talking about how my life hasn't started yet and I'm 30 this or I'm 30 that. And that was the weekend that I turned 36.
Whoa, and it was only your second music video?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've done everything really kind of slowly
yeah.
because I've done it around mothering for the last 20 years, and that was what I wanted. Richard had said that year, why don't you just really focus on music? And I was like, oh, okay. And it felt like an impossibly huge gift for someone to say, hey, I'm going to support you while you explore this part of yourself that I know you really care about. And I found that, really overwhelming to begin with. And then August, we would have been 8 months into that year. And then someone had just suggested, overheard me talking about these phases and said, you should make a show about this. And I was like, oh, yeah, maybe I will. And then on the way home, Richard was like, well, are you sure? Because you said you wanted to make an album. And I was like, yeah, no, I think this will be good. And then it just, sort of evolved really.
No, I don't know really, because if someone told me to just make a show, I would be like, oh, no. What was it about it? Because, doing a show is a huge thing, a Fringe show as well. What was it about it that tweaked your, captured your attention?
I guess the other thing is, it doesn't have to be. I mean, it could just be you standing on stage with an apple having a conversation.
True.
You can have production or not. And there's this idea too of, doing the smallest viable version of that thing. Minimum viable product. So that you don't get overwhelmed into inaction, but you're just like, oh, well, if I just did what would that look like? And I kind of thought, well, I already perform, I already get on stage and sing songs and tell stories in between. So this will just be like that, but with more period stuff. And I already get in front of people and talk about sex and whatever. So this will just be like that, but with more songs. And it felt like a proper kind of collision of those two things coalescing, not a collision, a coalescing. And it was really fun.
Did you have any big goals with it? Was it okay, we want to try and sell this many tickets or win this, or was it literally just have a go at this?
I didn't want to lose money.
Yeah.
That was my
Because can you explain how that works to people who don't know how Fringe works? You've got to front your costs, right?
Yeah, well, generally you have to front the costs and you take 60% or 65% of the ticket sales and then the rest covers the costs.
Okay. But so you can lose money on it?
Oh, yeah.
And do artists lose?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you just didn't want to do that. That was the main
I didn't
goal.
want to do that. So I was in a pretty small venue. It was 70 people. The other thing with Fringe is that generally you can't just do 1 or 2 shows. You have to commit to a week.
Yeah, okay. How many did you commit to?
A week.
A week. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
That's so crazy. So run us through what the prep was like. You're locked in to do this show. You're calling it My Greatest Period Ever. Where did you start?
Well, I think I started writing it in New Zealand, and I gathered a group of women together and explained to them what I'd been doing for the last nearly 10 years in following my cycle and learning this thing. And I wrote some songs, and then I had some songs I'd already written that I kind of shoehorned into that framework. I got a bottle of wine and I gave it to people who had their period. I had some capes.
So did you do this as like a trial on them to see if they
Yeah.
And how did they react to it?
Yeah, they loved it, and they I think what was really just be having somewhere to try it, before I did it, and I practiced it a lot to my son,
who was how old at this time? He would have been like
11 or something.
Okay, so you're practicing to your son and your husband, and like a few days or so out from the show, your husband gives you some feedback, Richard, about your performance. Like, tell us about that.
Yeah, he just said, Luce, it's really great, and you've got a lot of big ideas and concepts in there. You could do with a diagram or two. And I was like, well, do me one. And he's like, oh, I'm quite busy, and I was like, well, just get a scrapbook and just scribble some stuff. And so then I sat on the couch with him next to me just sort of doodling away. And then he'd just bought an iPad Pro, and it had this program called Procreate. So you could draw live and then sort of, shift things around. So he was figuring out the program like in real time and, making things bigger and disappear and stuff like that. And
so he basically wrote himself into your show.
Well, I wrote him in and then I said, it's tomorrow. Do you want to do it? And he was like, okay.
As background, is he he's a graphic designer?
He's a creative director.
Okay, creative director who just so happens to draw really well.
Yeah, he loves drawing.
Okay.
His whole family are really artistic and good at drawing, and so that's just part of his kind of language.
That's so cute. So, okay, take us to it's show night, it's 2017, Fringe Festival. Like, I am picturing you and Richard, side stage, you in this sexy little cat suit. Like, how were you feeling? Were you excited? Were you nervous? Were you like, why did we do this? Or
I was really excited, and I think something that's always been a bit of a through line for me is if you're doing something and you love it and you're having a good time, then other people will enjoy it.
I always say people don't remember what you say, they remember how you make them feel.
And that's exactly how I would deliver sessions as a sexual health educator, because I knew that in 1 hour I couldn't possibly tell them all the ways to avoid danger. But just that if I gave them a helpline number and modelled how to have a conversation, then that was really the most beneficial thing that I could do. So this felt a little bit like that, but I could say anything I wanted. I think when you're tapping into taboo, there's so much energy that's sort of is latent the right word? That's sort of waiting to be alchemized, and so I wasn't quite prepared for that. I knew that some people would come because the tickets had been sold, but I didn't realise that people would be so excited to have their own conversation about it.
Or just feel heard, feel seen, I guess.
Yeah.
So run us through what that performance looked like if we weren't there in 2017. What were people in for? What did you?
So it was in a little theaterette attached to the art gallery, and it had raked seating, 70 seats, and it was mostly women and sort of gaggles of girlfriends and mothers and daughters who just were noisy and screaming with laughter, and it was raucous. And after our show, there was a comedian who didn't do so well with the ticket sales, and I felt terrible because every night trying to get the women out of the corridor, because they'd be talking to each other and to total strangers saying, yeah, I've got my period too, and this happens and that happens. And that was really exciting to just see how people were really ready to have that conversation and just to touch a nerve that's there's all this stuff in here, and I, get to kind of.
Did it surprise you, people's reactions?
Yeah, but I quickly realised that it was sort of happening everywhere. It was like a timing thing, It was like this, the world is just ready to have have this conversation now and here we go. It's like my special interest. I'm ready. Let's go.
No one wanted to listen to me back in 2016. Like, it's time.
Yeah.
Do you have any kind of special memory, I guess, from that like week of shows that stands out? Maybe like an audience, feedback or anything that you're like, oh, that was really cool.
Oh, there were lots. I mean, there was one girl who came, and I often talk about her. She was 11. She was one of my son's friends, and she had, I think, just gotten her period, and now she's 21 and she's an incredible artist. Her name's Sophie Lila. She's a really amazing musician, and I love to think that maybe part of her strength as an artist was supported by understanding this part of herself as a creative person from a small age.
Oh, I wish I had your book when I was that age.
Same. Yeah.
Bye. Well, so what happens at the end of Fringe is they have the Fringe Awards, and they have all these awards, and sort of the biggest award that you could possibly win is the Martin Sims Award. And so they have this award ceremony, and on your first year of Fringe, you win the Martin Sims Award. Seriously.
We actually shared it with someone else where there was a joint. Yeah. But we did, yeah. And it was because, I'd never done anything like that before. So it was, pretty crazy.
Yeah, what was your reaction when they did you have any idea that you'd won it? Did they give you any idea that you?
No.
Wow.
No.
So when they
I knew there was a real buzz, and I could feel this sort of energy, and people were coming and then they'd come back with their partner, or they'd, there was all of them were sold out. And
now I feel really bad for the comedian who was he after you all week?
I felt so bad for him. Yeah. Oh. I know. It was rough for him.
But back to the Martin Sims, because you get funding as a part of that award as well.
Yeah, you get $10,000 to develop it, and you sort of get support to then go to another Fringe
festival. Yeah. How did winning that award, I guess, change your perspective of what maybe was possible for you in the future?
Yeah. I guess having been a musician for quite a long time up until that point, and really felt how, especially as a mother, there's not really a red carpet. If you want to make music and perform, you have to slog that shit out yourself and do it because you love it. And I did. But this felt really different. It felt really like, oh, there's all this momentum that I don't have to fight for. It just kind of is unfurling, and really I've just kind of done the next thing and the next thing since then,
Yeah. Did it was it the first time you really felt like, oh, I can have my own lane here with what I'm doing?
Yeah. I mean, I remember going to a big sound event as a musician and getting an interview with a manager who was, managed really people that I would have, he was, all that. And he was like, you probably need to pick a lane, because you can't really sort of be the period lady and then be a musician. People won't know where to peg you or how to whatever. Scratch that. They won't know where to put you. And I kind of understood that logically, but I just didn't really know what else to do. And I just sort of have always thought if you kind of do the thing that feels good, then that will bear fruit somehow.
I honestly believe that as well. You don't need to always know what the destination is, but sometimes I might just take the next right step that feels good.
Yeah.
And trust that hopefully something good will materialise itself, like a Martin Sims Award and 10 grand funding.
Yeah.
It's
that's
so cool.
Pretty good push in the right direction.
Yeah. Well, winning the Martin Sims, launching your own Fringe show would have been one thing, but it just kept unfolding for you, and you got asked to do not one but 2 TEDx talks. What was your initial reaction when you got asked about the TEDx?
I was thrilled. And when I did the first one, it was for Bunbury TEDx, and I said, how long can I have? And they said, well, you can have up to 18 minutes. And so then I proceeded to just say as much as I could in 18 minutes and talk as fast as I could, which may not have been the best approach, which was possibly why I was asked to do the second one. And in that one, they said, you've got 8 minutes. And I was a bit like,
8 minutes?
do you know who I think I am? 8 minutes. That's
8
not
minutes?
enough. Yeah.
No.
But Richard said to me, you know, really, if you're any good, you should be able to do it in 30 seconds.
Oh,
so
shut up, Richard. Okay, Richard.
I know. And so
Richard with all the feedback.
with all the feedback, yeah. Yeah, and but then I had to really distill that message
to 8 minutes.
to 8 minutes.
Wow.
Which served me so well because I kept kind of pulling from that library, you know, for a long time afterwards to have to kind of do the diligence of getting it.
Did you have
down.
any, I was going to say because I think if someone asked me to do a TEDx talk, my initial reaction would be like, wow, how cool. But then I think I'd be like, oh, because it's a completely different format, right? It's like a condensed time frame. You're like restricted on time. And then your audiences generally, are they just people rocking up to see a whole bunch of people?
Yeah,
at a
they're
conference?
not necessarily there to see you.
Yeah.
And there's generally not a theme. It's just ideas worth sharing.
Okay.
But yeah, you know, stand on the red spot and you don't have notes.
No notes. Is that the rule? No notes. Okay. Yeah. Did any of like that freak you out at all before?
Not really. I guess because I'd been having that conversation for so long, and I practiced it a lot. I practiced it while I was walking.
I do this.
Yeah.
I do this. Okay, so I do this. I don't know if you do this, but I do it when I'm walking so much. And people, like the other day, this lady was like, oh, I thought I heard someone behind me. So now what I do when I practice my speech when I walk is I hold my phone up here. So it looks like I'm having a conversation with someone because otherwise it looked like I was Delulu. I was just talking. I'm like doing my speech. So now I walk around like the suburbs, not on my phone, but just, pretending. What do you do before? You do that?
Well, sometimes I even do it in my head, but there's something about putting it in my body that then feels like, oh, it's in there. I don't need to worry or be nervous because I know it's in there.
Do you have any problem with like recall or once you've said it a few times you get it?
Not really. I remember speaking with our friend Bonnie Davies.
Oh my God, stop. Bonnie's coming on the podcast finally. She really is. Well, she said she is. I don't know. Bonnie,
she has been such a mentor to me.
Mentor as well.
And I said to her, I asked her about that, how do you remember? And she said, well, you just have the beats and then you kind of remember there's, you know, that bit talks about that and that bit talks about that. And as long as you can get through the beats and then all the rest kind of materialises around it. And I remember saying, oh, well, I do this thing where I just go to a random point at the piece and then I try and test myself. And she looked at me and she said, why would you do that to yourself? And I was like, I don't know. I don't know. And then I realised that was quite cruel.
Yeah, you're crazy. What is, just selfishly for my own benefit, like what is your prep for like a TEDx talk or for like when you're going on stage? Do you have like, so you walk around and you'll do your speech, like how else do you get yourself ready?
I think being in my body is really just everything. So maybe I'll meditate or jump around or dance or do my makeup really slowly and sing to myself or like just feel nice, you know, like sort of build your vibe.
That's so cool. You mentioned like TEDx didn't faze you. I know with myself.
I wouldn't say didn't faze me. That's probably
she's amazing.
A lie.
You're my new mentor.
But it was so exciting, you know,
Yeah.
and it was such a privilege to have that space.
Oh my gosh, I can't even. What I was going to say is like when I get asked to do something that's just a bit further out of my comfort zone, so say TEDx would be that. I don't know if it was similar for you. That's when my imposter syndrome will start to kick in a little bit. Did you get any of that with that, or do you get any of imposter syndrome with the work you do? Or not really?
Yeah, because I guess like what I'm talking about is something that's pretty universal, and the experience of it is personal. And so I will never be able to, you know, include everything perfectly or, you know.
I think you've included it perfectly in the book. Yeah, it's so good. Like, what do you do though? Like, say if you have any negative voices before you've got to do a big gig, like what do you have a process around silencing them?
I think finding a way to feel pleasure and really something about silencing them feels kind of brutal, but I think being as compassionate as I can to myself and maybe phoning a friend who's like just good at reminding you of who you are and what your worth is. Because it's tricky. I suppose imposter syndrome is something that everyone maybe has some experience with at different times of their life. But, I mean, now that I'm 46 and I've been having that particular conversation for so long.
You kind of you've got enough evidence to be like, it's fine, I've been here before.
And also to know that, like, you don't have to have all the answers to still be worthy.
Yeah,
you know,
that's so true.
And actually, if you can feel comfortable to own that vulnerability, whatever it is, and obviously, you know, there's different times in your cycle where you do. I just feel like I still am blown away by this. That when I'm premenstrual, it's like so harsh.
It's so harsh. It's so like I always like if I have an event that's on that week, I'm like, oh
yeah,
cool.
Gonna scaffold. It's like you can just be feeling like everything is and then
it's not.
The floor disappears and you get crushed.
Oh, it's honestly whenever I've had to host like or have anything where I've got to be quite visible during that time, I have to dig so deep.
Yeah.
Is there any like magical strategy for that, by the way?
No. I mean, I think the way you talk to yourself.
Yeah.
And, you know, when you hear those voices to just literally kind of pat your own arm and just say, you're doing so great.
Wow, yeah.
And, you know, you're doing a really great job.
I actually started, I feel like you would appreciate it because it was really getting to me. I started an imposter syndrome book. And so then every time I host or do some work and then I got good feedback, I like fill that book with like the feedback poster.
That's so nice.
And so then like when I have a freak out moment, I'm like, oh,
yeah.
Wait a second, this person said this. And I'll read it before something that I'm like.
That's
so
amazing.
then I just keep gathering evidence and I'm like, no, it's fine. Remember this one time you did it like here and you'll be like, yeah, just to try and.
Actually, that reminds me that one thing I like to do before a show is like because there's maybe 3 songs worth of time where Richard is drawing the audience and I do this, you know, whatever kind of show I'm doing and just to literally dance and stomp around backstage.
So good.
And just, really think about like my grandmother or, you know, people that I want to bring with me and, just to also be grateful. I feel like there's not like you should be grateful, but just that like, oh, this is happening.
Yeah.
Like I get to do it. How amazing. And also I don't have to be that person, whatever that is. I can be this person and to give myself grace to let that emerge as I'm in the experience. And sometimes I feel like, starting is hard. If you don't have much time, if you've got like 5 minutes and you've got to be on it, then that's really tough. If you've got an hour show, then you can
ease your way into
it. But every time is different, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, so different. Back into the story. So you're on the TEDx talks. Like, how did they go in the end? Did you nail the 8 minutes or did you go over? Be honest.
I don't think it went over. No.
I watched it. It was amazing.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. I didn't know Richard was your partner at the time when I watched it and I was like, why is this guy on stage taking notes?
Just keeping up. Yeah.
I thought he was like timing you or something. Yeah, super interesting. Well, so you've launched a show, you've got the Martin Sims Award, you've got the funding, you do the TEDx talks, and then again, your life just keeps flowing in this direction and you get asked to do an acoustic set for Mia Freeman's book launch, and then the next day you're having breakfast with her, no big deal, and she sort of plants a seed. Tell us about what she says.
Yeah, she just told me to write a book and said I could introduce you to some publishers, get on with it. And so I did. And I don't think any of the people she introduced me to were interested. But then someone approached me.
Oh, really? Oh, is that how it worked?
And invited me to pitch. So you still have to put together a pitch of, what you think you might do and why you should do it and why it should be done now.
Was that a scramble? Like, did you have this period queen concept in your head?
Not really. I mean, I knew that there'd be a beginning and an end and then 4 bits about the 4 phases, and then it would sort of take some kind of shape. And even now, I wish I'd had longer to
it's perfect.
Play with it.
You're a big fan. It's great.
Diagrams, or it's something that I could constantly keep refining. But I try not to think about it.
I think as a creative, that can be a dangerous thing. Hey?
Oh, yeah.
Knowing when something is ready to go or knowing when you push it out.
Yeah.
Do you have a strategy at all with that, or you just like
when you
have a deadline?
Have a deadline. And I remember saying to the publisher, how do you know I'll be ready by then, and how do you know that will be done by that point? And she was like, oh, we just know. You'll see, it'll be fine. And having that sort of scaffolding of a team of people sort of nudging different parts of it was incredible, because up until that point I was so used to mostly doing it myself, and then feeling like, and Richard is very supportive. He's used to kind of wrangling creative ideas and creative people and getting behind it, and giving life to it. So I had that as well. But, yeah, having this team of women who were just really in my corner and championing all the way was just like, wow, this is like I'm on a wave machine.
Did you enjoy the book writing process?
I loved it so much. I really hope I get to do it again one day. It was just really special to sort of go in, and as I was writing it, I was always saying it out loud and imagining how it would sound out loud. And
I feel like, honestly, every sentence in it is so poetic. Like, it's really so beautiful. Like, there are so many period books out there, but I think I was telling you when we caught up, this is honestly like an artist's creatives. It just resonates so much in the way you've written it. It's like all heart, and you can feel that in the words. So, yeah, honestly, like, thank you so much for putting it out there. Did you notice, I guess, a change in yourself from Lucy Peach before she'd written the book to after you'd written the book? Did you feel any different?
Well, honestly, the book came out in April of 2020, and there was this whole sort of publicity tour that was planned and all of these amazing things that were going to happen on the back of that was like all around Australia and la, la, la. And then obviously COVID just evaporated everything, and it was really strange to have that much momentum and then it all to just sort of just fizz away. But in a way, I mean, I don't know what it was like for you, but in a way it's kind of thrilling to be like, oh, well, I do this and then I do that and I have to say the da-da-da-da-da-da, and then it just disappears, and it's like your slate is totally blank again, and you get to decide what that looks like and how you're going to sort of put your life back together.
Did they end up doing something instead for the book launch?
Yeah, that's why I did the podcast. Yeah.
Okay.
In lieu of doing a publicity tour.
Yeah. Was it still like a really, I guess, proud moment when the book finally did come out?
Yeah.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
It's honestly like goals. And I think like what inspires me about your life so much is just all the little things that you have like done, from the WAMI Award to launching your own show to winning the Martin Sims to traveling around the world with it to winning multiple awards for your show, to the book, to the TEDx talks. You also do online training programs, you do in-class programs as well, and a mother-daughter retreat. It's like creative dream. Like, honestly, I'm like worshipping you. Like, congratulations. Like, what has been the highlight for you, I guess, in all of this?
What has been the highlight? I don't know. I just hope I get to keep doing it, you know. And I think sometimes, like I remember when I first started, there were so many things that I wanted to do, and I wanted to do them all myself, and I wanted to do them all now. And I was like, you know, really kind of it felt quite urgent that I had to sort of do all of this stuff, you know.
I get that sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm like, but you have to do this. And, like, I'll do something and be like, how can you get momentum from that? Like, I'm like, get out of your head, just have fun.
Yeah, well, I think now that it's sort of been a bit of, I mean, this feels weird. It feels like I'm coming in for my 10-year retrospective. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, because I'm like, oh, sure, I did all that stuff. It seems so long ago. And yet it's still evolving. And so this program that I'm doing in the school now.
Yeah, tell us about the program. It's so cool. It's something that when I met you, I was like, I can't believe you're not already doing this. This is you.
I know.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, there's obviously, you know, the way that women's bodies have been repressed and weaponized touches everything in society, everywhere, you know. And so there's so many ways you could work within that, exploring it and transmuting it. And I thought working in school would be a pretty logical progression, and that would be just a really natural sort of thing. But it actually is quite difficult to get in. Schools are very regulated. There's a lot of red tape.
Yeah, curriculum.
And the timelines are always being crunched, and there's so many things that they have to do and so little time, so much pressure. And so really what it took was having a champion in this school. Grace Curtis from Penrose.
Grace, we love you.
I do love her because she, contacted me and she wanted to do the show at the school. And I just finished doing the mother-daughter retreat in Bali, where every day I would dedicate a whole day to a particular phase of the cycle. So I would wear different things. I would use different music. I'd use different essential oils. I'd do different movements. I would really just take so much time and care in crafting this experience for these mothers and their daughters, because, I want them to have an experience where they can really fall in love with this idea of what it means to have a body that does these things. So I was really full up of that whole granular sort of approach, as opposed to sort of having to fit in with things that were already there. And so when Grace said that they wanted to do this show, I said, I'd love to do the show. And out of curiosity, you know, you're a girls' school, what else are you doing to demonstrate that this isn't just a song and dance routine, but that it's something really important that these girls can learn about and understand? And she said, well, what do you suggest? And I said, well, I've got this idea.
Question for Lucy Peach.
And so this program was born, and every week I would go in and have a session with the Year 5 girls and the Year 6 girls, and we would do a bit of learning, but also there was lots of singing and moving and playing and games and making stuff. And the first week we made female reproductive systems out of flowers. So my friend is a florist, and she got me all these flowers, big buckets of flowers, and they were ripping up roses and lilies and making, you know, diagrams of the internal and the external. And I remember this one girl, she said, I never really thought about our bodies being like nature, and they're just as beautiful as a flower is. These little kids were it was killing me. And what I really learned from that experience is that, yes, they need information and they need to understand the parts and the nuts and bolts, but what they really love is the ritual, and they love the magic making, and that the precious, you know, it's like, how do you make it feel special? So that was just a huge, huge honour to do that.
So cool.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, I hope it goes to every single school. I wish I had that when I was in my class, because I feel like we just got I think you had to opt into it, and then it was just very harsh kind of a lesson. And I didn't leave being like, wow, I'm a magical human being. It was more like, this is what's coming up. Like,
it's very about the management.
Yeah.
And, you know, that part of it is important, but it's still is very reductive because we only learn about our cycle in terms of its capacity to help us reproduce. So what we can, you know, do with it and how to manage it. And I think a lot of women, even my age, would only see that having a menstrual cycle is useful in that it can help you get pregnant or not get pregnant.
yeah.
Whereas you're only going to use it to get pregnant maybe once or twice or never.
Yeah, never, yeah.
And yet all of those ups and downs are such a integral.
Well, like even just from me reading your book and then following some of the things that were in it, I've noticed that I've flattened out, say, like that luteal phase or the take phase. Like it doesn't affect me as much because I'm more in tune with my body. I'll actually listen. I'll pull back on certain exercises and not try and do the same thing I was doing the week before, and I won't commit to things socially. So it's just, it helps when you understand that. It makes life just so much better.
Yeah, you're not getting punched in the face with it.
No, yeah, it's honestly so amazing.
And that's the frustrating thing, is that it doesn't have to be that hard.
No.
And for some people, you know, obviously there's a whole nuanced array of things that can impact your experience. But if you just notice and you're allowed to notice and you've been invited to notice and you've been given permission and you have a language to describe it, then it's normal. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's the crazy thing. It's like it's actually is normal, and yet it's not normal to talk about it.
No.
And it's not normal to give a shit about it, and it's not normal to go to a doctor who would notice it, or a counsellor, or a dentist who would say, oh, you're getting your wisdom teeth removed. Make sure you don't do that when you're premenstrual because it will hurt more because your pain tolerance is lower.
Oh my God, I never even thought about it.
It's everywhere. It's everywhere.
Yeah,
you know, the
that's
world
so
is
true.
really not paying attention to us.
Well, I feel like this is a good note to get the period queen in and get schooled on the cycle. So I guess before we go into those 4 phases or those superpowers or your best friends, if you had to give like some kind of a top level view of the cycle to frame the conversation about the phases, what would you say to people? And you can go super basic.
Well, I guess we really live in a world that likes things to be linear, that likes to put things in boxes and know what to expect and be able to manage things and, you know, straight lines. And so when you have an operating system, I don't like to use a computer analogy, that works on a different framework to the status quo, you can feel like you're out of sync, because if you are a man with male hormones, you're on a 24-hour system, and every day you're...
It's the same, right? So rinse, repeat.
Yeah, essentially. And then we have a wider lens, 28, 29-ish days.
Nice.
So if you look at yourself through a linear 24-hour male lens, when your body doesn't do that, it's not going to fit.
Well, you're constantly failing. I think I used to do that when I used to try different regimes or things, because like guys' training programs are often the same. Like, you know, do this, fast this every day, be keto, like, you know, and I would try to do that and I'd always be like, oh, I'm failing. Like, why can't I do this? And I used to be like, and I've got such good willpower, but it was just because, exactly what you said. Ours is 28 days and it's different.
That's right.
It's just different.
And that sort of disconnect between our nature gets taught to us from a really young age, to not listen to your intuition, to not listen to your body, to be more disciplined, you know, to use your willpower, to operate in this different way that is expensive energetically and emotionally.
Oh, like when you slide into sync, it's literally like life flows so much easier, like so much easier. There are still moments where you're like, but it's easier, and you can be kinder to yourself, and it doesn't feel as hard.
That's right.
It doesn't feel like you're pushing stuff uphill.
Yeah.
Well, so let's talk about dream, do, give, take. So dream is first day of your period and it goes to about day 5. So what sort of happens, I guess, hormonally here in that phase?
Well, you're starting from a flat line, then you're building up again.
Okay, yeah.
So you're starting from nothing, and then you're getting it cranked. And even as you're bleeding, your ovaries are like, ooh, let's get ready. We're going to go again. And you start to make estrogen and sort of start to, you're always getting ready for the next thing as well.
Yeah,
it's like,
okay. So how do you make the most of the dream phase?
I mean, I guess it depends what your life looks like. I mean, if you're a bus driver and you have to be at a place at a time every single day, then you
can't cocoon.
You can't cocoon.
Dream sanctuary.
But I think, the noticing where you are and being kind to yourself is so huge, because sometimes you can't take 2 days off and be in the bath and play with flowers in the garden. But if you can at least acknowledge what's going on for you and sort of not have that cognitive dissonance of then thinking I'm not enough and I'm, there's something wrong with me, that goes a long way.
Yeah, because I think last year I had to host like a 4-day house party, and it was like from 4 p.m. till midnight, 4 days in a row, interstate, and it was right in this thing, and there was no rest. I was like, but I think exactly what you said, just having the awareness around it, being like, okay, so in the mornings when you do get up, like you're not catching up with anyone during the day, like bracket off your time, like, and I just tried to deposit so much more than I normally would during the day so that I was okay for the nights. Like, how do you manage it when, say, you've got to perform in that phase?
I really like it because, I mean, and I say that with the disclaimer of, I don't have crippling endometriosis or anything, but I feel like I'm a lot more tender and a lot more receptive and perceptive to just the energy in the room that then I can respond to in a way that if I'm day 8 or something, I might just bowl through that and not really notice it. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. So you kind of just, it's not something that impacts you performance-wise, say that a take phase would later on down the track.
Yeah, and even then I love performing with that energy as well, because I just give so much less of a shit.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm really quick to kind of, and I love kind of wielding that sword.
Superpower,
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there any like cute little like rituals or things that you do in the dream phase that you try and carry on, like, I don't know, with essential oils, or if it's like journaling or reading? Is there anything?
I mean, journaling is great all the time. I love having a little tarot time. Meditating, I love meditating in the dream phase because it just is so nice to feel like, I mean, I always resist it initially, but at that particular time I can really feel like my body wants to go there, and it's like, oh,
what is do you use like an app or a?
I did a TM, a transcendental meditation course years ago, and they give you a mantra.
Wow.
And then you're supposed to do it 20 minutes twice a day, and I generally do only one or I'll sit there and I might like do a bit of like
I do that
a couple of minutes, and then do the meditating. And what else? If I've got my period and I've got to go somewhere and it's day 1 or day 2, I quite often will take a hot water bottle with me.
So nice.
If I'm going to a restaurant,
yeah,
just be like, who cares? I'll just take my nice,
That's so nice.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's next level. I'll try that one in.
Nice, essential oil on my tummy. Asking for help more often. I think a lot of people, people send me things all the time about, amazing men doing amazing things, and I think it's a really interesting time because some men really are like across it, it's cool.
So then next phase is the do phase. So that goes from roughly day 5 to ovulation.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is where the energy starts to really kick in, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know about you, but this is like, I'm more of a people person. I'm organizing stuff. Yeah. I'm saying yes to things. Like, am I unwell or is that normal?
No, that's
it.
that's the ride.
Yeah.
And I think you know, as long as you can sort of be mindful about how much you're committing to in the future.
That's where I often have problems. Like, as you know, I'll be like, yes. And then I've learned to try and only make sure it's a yes in that week and not future booking stuff for when I'm coming like down the mountain.
Yeah, because that is a time when you can really have cycle amnesia, because it's sort of the longest part of the cycle as well, and it can just feel like this is actually who I am.
I'm amazing.
I'm amazing. Yeah.
What is like the like little unique superpower in that phase?
I guess that drive. You talked about imposter syndrome before, and sometimes I think that maybe there's a bit of that can live in this part of the cycle once it's finished, because you're just like, oh, yeah, I can do stuff. I can make things happen. Yeah, I'll do that. You can just see all these clear pathways and, you know, you're ready to just run at them. And then when that energy can sort of fade a little bit, it can feel like quite devastating, that like, oh, my God, I was right there, you know, I was at the top of the mountain and now like everything's so hard. Yeah. And to just, be able to kind of let it come and go. But to know that when it comes, it is something you own. And
is that when you like send the email, reach out to the person, you try and do it in that phase? Is that a thing?
I mean,
or it doesn't matter?
I think, it's funny. It's like it's a fine line between using your cycle to really help you and support you, and then feeling like it's this prescriptive thing that's another thing that you have to adhere to and do in a certain way and get it right. Do you know what I mean? I guess for me, like, and maybe this is just where I've gotten to after having a cycle for 34 years, is like to just have that sense of myself before I approach anything, and to be like, okay, I am going to send the email today and I'm day 3. What does that mean for me? Like, what am I feeling into and what am I bringing with me in that awareness?
Yeah,
does that make sense?
Just be more present with where you are.
Yeah, and exactly. And I think if you are wanting to get on the phone and really connect with someone, then, maybe day 3 isn't
your day.
Isn't your day. Do you know what I mean? But if you're, day 8 up until day 20, then there's just a lot more energy to sort of play with for when you've got to perform in a way.
Yeah, so the following on from do is give, and that's a similar kind of an energy. Do you, out of interest, try and book, say, your shows around your cycle?
I used to, and I definitely don't
do it now.
Like to do too much in that last week. Yeah. And see, I'm really noticing that my cycle's changing now, and it's interesting because a lot of this stuff now, I feel like it definitely still applies, but it's really changing. And so sometimes I might have a 26-day cycle, which is super short for me, and then I'm like, okay, well, do I need to start preparing for the take phase on like day 19 or do you know what I mean? It's like and then sometimes I have a 32-day cycle, so it's a bit kind of expansive, and I'm just noticing I need a lot more grace, especially in that premenstrual take phase.
Yeah, I want to talk about the take phase. That is the last phase. That is the phase I guess a lot of people like would recognise as being a bit of a storm.
Yeah.
Like what can you do, I guess, in that phase? Like what's the difference between like spiralling and then that's just the emotional part of that?
Just fight fascism and start a matriarchy. I mean. The thing is, the world is annoying and it's unjust and it's disappointing and it's frustrating. And that is when you'll feel it the most.
I know. I just become like allergic to people, allergic to small talk.
Yeah, totally.
I'm like a menace.
Yeah. And I think to just, again, it's with the self-talk of really being kind to yourself and knowing it isn't in your head. You're not imagining it. And, taking time alone to just really kind of be with your own energy and like – turn inwards and pay your respects to yourself, you know, like what does she want? What does she – and it's like you're coming to the end, you know, you're just on your last nerve. Like how do you want to spend that? And I think you still can do the things that you have to do, but not if you're then feeling like you've got to paste a smile on and do all the box ticking for all of the other things. It's like you really have to prioritise so well.
It's so hard. It's so hard, like when, if you're doing something like a performance, I think we were talking about earlier, and it just falls on that time, and then you just are like, okay, this is what it is.
And you know, some people have hard times at other times. I mean, honestly, I'm day 5 now, and my day 1, I doom scrolled for like 5 hours. I went so hard on the hideousness of the internet at the moment, and I can really feel that is not setting me up for success, because I'm not feeling like, cool, I'm full of energy and I'm ready to go, because I didn't. And you know, it's never too late to be like, do you know what? I'm going to just take an hour and I'm going to dip back into whatever I didn't quite deal with in the last phase, and just be with that and, you know, catch myself back up.
I feel like that's the key, right? If you sync up to where you are like now, then it makes the next bit easier.
And isn't that a great metaphor for life? Because like being present is something that can feel really hard to do. And I guess for me, having a cycle is like, it's your way in. It's your way into your body, to yourself.
Well, it forces you, to be aware of, like, even just asking yourself, like, one of the questions I have on my whiteboard is like, what does my body need right now, from me today? And, like, just checking in with that, versus I used to have, like, a plan of what I was going to do that day, regardless of how I felt. So just having more awarenesses to, like, if you've woken up tight, or you're tired, or you're exhausted because you've just had an event, it doesn't matter that was your plan. Like, you've got to adjust it. Like, responding to what, and it's such a nicer way, a kinder way, because then you develop this like really nice relationship with yourself that I don't think I had. So your book has so nice. Really helped me with that.
It's such a nice way to describe it.
Well, like just be your own best friend, isn't it? If you had to like give people like one message in terms of their cycle and the different phases, like what would you want them to take away about their cycle?
I think it depends where you sort of are in the bigger scope of things. But for anyone who's just beginning in exploring, paying attention, you know, and taking notice. And so whether that's journaling or having someone that you can talk to about it, so that you can really kind of get granular. And it's a little bit like when you're learning to drive. You're looking at everything and you're trying to pay attention to all the signs, and, you know, you're really nervous and you're holding on quite tight. You don't have to hold on that tight forever, because like you said, once you develop this relationship and this flow, it's sort of like you're listening all the time.
And adjusting all the time.
Yeah.
And you genuinely also, because you know it works, you want to check in with yourself and be like, okay, like what does she need?
That's right.
Versus anything else.
And also that if it feels hard, that's also really valid, you know, because it can sometimes be a bit crushing to realise the ways that the world isn't in alignment with your body and what you need. And so having someone to talk to about it, I think, is just so important, so that you can really normalise having a real conversation about what is really happening to your body. You know, when someone says to you, how are you going? And we just go, yeah, good. Have you been? Yeah, busy.
So true.
And also every month it's not necessarily the same, you know, different things happen, and you're, you know, having to negotiate all of the different parts of your life. So just because you usually feel like this on day 11 doesn't mean you will every month.
And just be kind to yourself, I guess.
Yeah, it's an invitation, I think. And also it's not forever, you know. It's like it's wild to me that, you know, you do this thing for 40 years and then there's this whole other...
It's another book, Lucy. I feel like she's about to write it.
Well, I don't think I could write it until I've
gone through it.
Been through it, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And there's, you know, now it's like there's a lot of conversation around menopause and perimenopause, and I know industries around it. It still seems to be a lot that is made to make you feel like there's going to be something wrong and it's going to be terrible.
Yeah.
Hot
flashes.
I know. I started the year, I hate January. I find it really, I just hate January. And
Oh, why so much shade for January? Just because the pressure.
it's like
of
the
starting.
Monday of the year.
Okay, yeah.
And it's like I feel all this expectation and pressure to have everything mapped out and figured out.
Oh, you got to do it.
But there's no momentum and everyone's kind of, and so now I've realised like, and I know that I mean, who cares? It's a date. It's arbitrary. Someone just made it up. And I love the idea of starting on the Chinese New Year.
I was going to say that's what I do for
Yeah.
17.
Yeah. Which is then gives you time to just be like, Monday is just sort of getting ready. January's getting ready for the year.
Year of the horse this year as well. Gonna be a good one.
And so what I did was, I started remaking this blanket that I'm making where I'm like crocheting a blanket made out of duvet covers. So I'm basically making a blanket out of blankets, and it was like 35 degrees and I didn't have the aircon on, and I was sitting there and I was like, oh my God, I think I'm having a hot flush. Oh fuck, I think it's finally happening to me. And then I realised, oh no, I'm actually just hot and I'm under this blanket made of blankets and it's like 35 degrees.
How do you reckon it will change, I guess, what you do, like now that you're about to?
Yeah, I don't know. I think I love sharing and working with people, but I also really love responding from where I am and what I'm in. And I'm noticing even having this conversation, I'm like, you got this, Amberly. What you do it? You wear the cat suit. Do you know what I mean? I guess it's such an exciting time because now these conversations, do you know, compared to even the last 5 years.
Change.
It's just you open Instagram and it's all over it.
Yeah.
It's just like so great.
So good.
So I have this sense of like, oh yeah, I really did that, and I could not do that part of it, and it would be okay. You know, I could explore other things. I don't know what they are, but I'm sure I'll figure it out once I'm in it.
Yeah, honestly, congratulations again. It's so exciting, like seeing what you do, and I think what I love so much about your story is how it just flows like it has. It feels like the two things that you love have just combined, and like the way that they came together, it's so weird because I can't see you doing anything else. Like it feels like this perfect synergy of the things that you love. Do you set goals for what you do now, or do you still just sort of follow in the flow of things? Like was the book ever a goal, and was TEDx ever a goal, or was that just a thing?
No. But yeah, I mean, not really. Last year I was invited to participate in a show. Was I telling you about it?
No.
It's called The End of the World, Wednesdays at the End of the World.
No.
Max Barton, who's this incredible theatre maker, did a thing for a whole year where every month on a Wednesday there was a show about the end of the world.
Oh my God, that's so cool.
And every month the theme was different. So it might be like AI or floods or a meteor is coming or whatever. And he did these and I was involved in a couple of them. And then the final one was for the Fremantle Biennale, and he invited me to do a song about infertility.
Wow.
And I was like, yeah. I mean, I love Max and I would say yes to anything that he asked me to do. And I've been pretty open about doing IVF and having a really long journey around that. And then when I sat down to write the song, I thought, oh my God, this is going to be such a punish. I can't believe I said yes. And then I thought, okay, we'll just write a sad song. Just write the saddest song in the whole world. So then I started writing this song, and then it turned into this kind of like, I don't know, I love this song so much. And I played it with some other musicians and just was so excited I couldn't even sleep for about 2 weeks. And, I didn't expect that to send me on a trajectory of musical abundance, writing a song about infertility. But now, I said to Ness, who plays in Jebediah, and she played with me, and I was like, do you want to maybe like do this every month for a year, and then maybe next year we could write an album? And she was like, yep. So maybe I am setting goals. And so, then we just started jamming. and with this, drummer, Pete Forgus and Luke Ducks, the guy I've been playing guitar with for a long time. And so we've been playing since November and we've got 5 songs or something, and I'm so excited to be making music this year because I feel like that's something that I really not that I put down for periods because, I was still singing in the show and I really loved those things coming together. And, it's difficult to do everything all at the same time.
Can't. No. And I feel like it's like your work can often go in seasons. Like sometimes you're doing more of this thing, the next time you're doing more of this thing, and you just keep kind of adapting to where it's at. I'd be kind of interested to hear about, the overall seasons of your work because, like I said, it reads as this beautiful, magical, flowing thing where one thing open to the next. Like how much as a creative, I guess, work has been involved in it all?
Yeah. I mean, I think seasons is such a great way to describe it because, nothing's forever, really. I mean, unless you're like Nick Cave and you're just like, I sit at my desk from 9 to 5 every single day and I write songs. And I partly sort of think, wow, that's amazing. That's so disciplined and that's really impressive. But then I also just know that I don't want to do the same thing every single day, and I really enjoy responding to momentum and other people and collaborating with other people. And that's something that I also really know about myself right now is that I don't want to be pushing everything myself, and I really love this idea of making in collaboration with other people. And
it's more fun.
Yeah, I think so. Because there's more energy to play with and there's more unknown and mystery. And if I write songs by myself, I know I'm going to find a D minor and a C and a G, and that's probably about it because that's what I know. Whereas if I take a melody to someone else and say, I've got this idea, then it can go in all of these other places. So
how have you coped, I guess, with over the years doing what you do with different periods of quiet time? Have you found that hard as a creative? Have you pivoted quite easily?
No, I mean, it is hard sometimes, It can be hard and it can be lonely and it can be isolating, and I think then when other things are going on, like doing IVF was really difficult. And
what was that in the middle of? Was that where
I did I finished it in April last year. That was my last transfer. And then I probably started maybe 4 years before that.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. And I wasn't going gung-ho the entire time. I tried to kind of make it cute, and go in and out. But, I had a real sense at the start of last year that I needed to be really with that experience and sort of get off my life for a while and just go in, and it's almost like I had a big dream phase that just went for about 6 months because, I really hermited hard. I didn't really want to see people and I just didn't know if I'd even want to sing again, I didn't really sing for about 6 months.
Yeah.
And just, I knew it was sort of something I needed. I was probably depressed, but I also, and I knew that it was something I needed to be with, that I couldn't sort of rush through,
Do you have any advice, I guess, for creatives who are maybe going through a season like that, like a quiet season or something where they've got to put their creative passion to the side to do something else?
Well, one thing that I did was I started studying psychology, which I know now was kind of a way of giving myself a bit of an anchor because I couldn't throw it all in the bin and then be wandering around completely rudderless. I needed to sort of have a container. And sometimes those things are like, that's just the thing before the thing that you have to do to get to that thing.
Yeah.
And also, I did lots of really bad watercolours. I think finding little things that just keep pressing on your creative pulse and just sort of checking that it's there and being with that is really important. Well, it was for me. And I think finding finding a way to make it beautiful, because life is really challenging sometimes. It can be really hard. It can be really frustrating. It can feel like you've, put all this energy into being at a place and it isn't unfolding in the way that you want it to. And to just try, I mean, it's really easy to say, just be with that, be in the discomfort. But, just like, I don't know, I grew a rose bush and I just would love smelling this rose and doing my little watercolours and doing my assignments. And, I think just having ritual is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I love that. Little rituals that make life beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so lovely.
Yeah.
How much of your journey do you think and success is just about sticking it out and staying in the game to pick up the rewards that you've, worked so hard towards?
Yeah.
So I look at your career and it's just like you could have stopped here and then you just keep going and then you keep going and and it just keeps opening.
Yeah. I think I've had periods, especially in January's, recurring Januaries.
We hate January.
Right, that's it. I need to get a real job. I'm going to go back to uni. I'm going to get another degree.
I do that too. Okay, so you still do that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
This year was the year that I've done it the least, because I just was like, no.
Stop, you've been doing it every other year?
I don't think we're going to do that this year. I think maybe we're just going to this January, I also, my partner's had an ankle reconstruction, so I've been very diving into the domestic,
But so you will like regularly have a bit of a freak out where you're like, I should probably
go. Oh, yeah.
Okay, great. As a creative.
Absolutely. I mean, I do like to imagine myself as like 85 and maybe I've got a van and I've got this long plat and I'm doing some sort of work on the internet, but then I'm like sitting by a little fire or something. Like I want to be useful and I want to be growing all of the time. And I think, it's always good to get more skills to feel like it can support whatever that thread is. But, the idea of needing to kind of commit to an institution and pay 30 grand and be at a place at a time, I don't know. No shade on psychologists, but I was learning it and thinking, this is really interesting. But then I just felt do I really want to be in a room like with one person, like talking to them about CBT for their ADD or like, do you know what I mean? So I think having a balance of committing to my own growth and learning is really important. I hope I get to always be learning more about how to
be better at life.
Yeah. But just sort of, be able to stay wild with it. And, part of that is having, support for the times when it is a bit fallow, because it can be really
up and down.
Especially
in Perth, it's like a smaller market even more so. It's like a miracle, anyone working in the creative industry in Perth. Do you have any advice for creatives, I guess, who are, say, working in a Perth or a Western Australia?
To stay diverse so that you can have your fingers in lots of different pies. And that can also be pretty chaotic and not for everybody. And maybe for some people it's like, no, I just do this 1-2 things and I'm focusing on those things. But I guess for me, I always knew I wanted to work in a school and make this thing beautiful instead of just, here's how tampon works, good luck, have a nice life. And I knew I wanted to make it really special. And there just wasn't really the demand for it.
No.
Which was wild to me because I was just like, what do you mean? Like, why aren't people, what? And now there is. Now there's momentum. So it's something about sort of, it's I don't know, I imagine it a little bit like playing chess as well. It's like there's all of these bits and you just kind of, that one can go there. Oh, that one can't go anywhere for a while. I'm just going to leave that there and now I'm going to try and do this little thing here. And you just kind of
move the pieces.
That's very linear, but it's just sort of like, moving the pieces really around, and then when there's momentum,
you strike and you check.
Yeah, and I had a session with this beautiful tarot reader just before I started the schools program, and I was like, I'm feeling a bit like, wow, it was so amazing to want to do this thing, to finally get the opportunity and to now feel like, well, now I've got to really do it right and it's got to be really good. And she was like, oh, no, you got to enjoy it. Like, you've been asked to do this thing because you're going to bring this great energy and make it incredible. Just do that. Just do that. And so I really took that to heart. And
that's what I needed to hear, because sometimes I can get an opportunity, and especially when you've wanted it for so long and you've worked towards it for so long, and then you get it and then you're like, okay, now I've got to be this, when really you just have to be like you. Yeah. And that's it. Yeah. And my word this year was fun. Did you have a word this year?
Presents.
Oh, presents.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have it again. I think, well, as in, this is the other thing I hate about January, and I'm aware that we're in February, but I hate that you can't say last year and mean the year before. It's the year before that. You know?
So bad.
Oh, yeah. I only just learnt this thing, but with the Chinese astrology, so it's a fire horse.
Yeah. I didn't know that. I just thought it was a horse.
Yeah, so because there's elements and they change. But they change every 2 years.
Oh, wow.
So last year was the wood snake.
Ah, okay.
And it was a wood something before that. And this is the fire horse. And next year is fire. So we've had all this. So Bo Wong, who I work on her retreats with, she was talking about this the other day in a creative session around how we've had 2 years of wood, which is gathering, collecting, getting it organised. And now we've got 2 years of fire.
Which means what we're going to like unleash ourselves?
Well, yeah, or maybe it's like you got to get kindling and you've got to start the fire small and you've got to just blow on it and give it a bit of air. Or maybe you've already got a bit of fire going and you need to get a really big log and just like crank it. But that we've got time is what I'm trying to say.
We've got 2 years.
We've got 2 years. And also we've got infinity, really.
Yeah, we do.
Do you know what I mean? It's like this whole thing, I think of like you have to do it all now.
No. I purposely do this thing where when I start a new goal, so I print out a page to the day calendar and I put it on my bathroom mirror, and I will never start it on the first of a month. I always just try and start on a random day, just so that it doesn't feel like pressure. I'll start on like the 13th and start crossing off. Just so you know how like you put too much pressure on the first of the month to start, I'll just pick a Wednesday and I'll just start my goals, so that I also get myself into the mindset of like it doesn't have to be a certain time, a certain day for it to start. It can start any day, any random day. They're all the same. Like just pick one and just start there. Yeah. So I'll try and just randomly do that whenever I'm starting a new habit and I want to track it. It will never be the first day of a week or like something big. It'll just be like little Wednesday.
Well, and that's the other thing is you can start whenever you want, but you can also start again.
You keep saying
and that's something that I really love about having a cycle is that there's this real sense of like coming to the end of this absolute crunchy, threadbare, worn, fucked thing that you're just like, and then you start again from nothing and you're building and then, you know, and that idea I think is just like, we've got time.
No, honestly, so beautiful. And like I said, you inspire me so much. You are like my living, breathing goal. Seriously. I'm like, wow, you're amazing. For someone who's achieved so much, what is success to you?
There's something in me that I got to get out and then really fully explore and express, and a sense of completion or like, oh yeah, like I was there and that happened and then like being something about being fully in it.
That's so beautiful.
Is it? Does it make sense?
No, yes, I love it. No, well, Lucy Peach, where do people find and follow you? Where's the best place?
Look, I reckon I'll be heading to my lavender farm pretty soon.
Can I please come?
Yes. Yeah. I'm on Instagram sometimes, Lucy's Peaches, and I have a website, lucypeach.com.
It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. And just lastly, I always say life is a jungle. Have you got any parting wisdom for navigating the jungle of life?
Jungle of life. Stop and smell the flowers.
You're going to say roses. There's no roses in the jungle. The
smell the flowers and hope they don't eat your face. I think just, feeling the ground under your feet and just being in this. I mean, I think what's wild is that it's like so easy to forget how incredible it is to be alive. You know, like that you have hands and a face and that you get to interact with all of your senses and be in this human life school experience. You get to enjoy it.
Yeah, stop and notice it. Take it in. Be where your feet are. Oh, what was your word? Be present. Presence. I love it. No, Lucy, thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're amazing.
Thank you.
Lucy Peach, well, this is it in the jungle. This is our first ever musical performance. Jungle doing it big.
Is it?
Yeah, it is. Take it away.
Just the chorus or like a whole thing?
I mean, the whole thing would be amazing, but you can do it. It's your show, Lucy.
Okay. All right. How can it be that nobody told me what was written into my bones? Maybe I've always known for far too long. The treasure has been untold. Worse has been told wrong. What we've always known. What we've always known. Your blood is amazing, your body divine. You can start again. Every time it's amazing, I'm not by your side. You can start again. Every time.
You are amazing. I can't believe you are ever not going to sing. Are you serious? That is Lucy Peach. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
That was amazing. Thank you so much for listening. For more information on the show, visit my website, amberlylobo.com. You can catch me on socials at amberlylobo. That is it. Have an amazing day, whatever you're up to. And remember, life is a jungle. Be kind to animals.
Welcome to the jungle with Amberly Lobo.